Hello, friends. This is Anthony from Forest Ghost Conversations. Are you looking to get into the podcast game yourself? Well, if you haven't heard about Anchor by Spotify, let me tell you, it's the easiest way to make a podcast with everything you need all in one place. Let me explain. Anchor has some tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Then, when hosting on Anchor, you can even distribute your podcast on listening platforms such as Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many, many more places. It's everything you need to make a podcast all in one place. And get this, everyone, best of all, Anchor is totally free. Just download the Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started today. Hello there. Welcome to this episode of Forest Ghost Conversations. This is your host, Anthony King, and in this episode, I'm going to take a deep dive look into the new trailer for the upcoming Disney Plus series, Andor. Now, before we get started, I'm inviting you to join the conversation with us. We can be found on Twitter at Forest Ghost Pod. You can also follow us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok just by searching Forest Ghost Conversations. We look forward to connecting with you on those platforms. Also, please be sure to subscribe, rate, and review the podcast on your listening site of choice. And without further ado, it's time to gather around the campfire for some Force Ghost Conversations. All right, everyone, we are back for another episode of Forest Ghost Conversations. And I just wanted to drop a quick episode here because, of course, while I was on vacation, not only did they drop the Lego Star Wars Summer Vacation Special, a litany of other Star Wars-based news, they also released a brand new trailer for the upcoming Andor series. Now, I will confess, I've only watched this trailer once, right? I was doing what you should do on vacation. Relax, take time away, enjoy time with friends and family, do what you want to do, right? I was off on a beach, enjoying myself, putting my toes in the sand, enjoying the surf, and hanging out with my family. It's a great time. It's a great time. Got to watch the trailer once, and boy, did I thoroughly love it. Now, I hope you've enjoyed our last couple of episodes, our pre-recorded episodes. Most recently on the Willow trailer. I hope you saw that wonderful drop that I did as well this week of the specific Force Ghost Conversations Willow podcast artwork that we'll be doing in promotion of our Willow based content that will be coming out when the series drops this later in November. Hope you enjoyed all that. It was a lot of fun putting together and to get to experience the Willow world again. But we're getting back into Star Wars. I promise we'd be right back in it. And I had a feeling, they released the first teaser trailer for Andor at Star Wars Celebration, which is back in May now. The series was supposed to premiere at the end of August. And I figured that if you look at the same Kenobi-esque timeline, typically about a month out, that's when they'll drop another trailer. So, I kind of had an inkling that something may come sooner or later when it comes to the Andor verse, or the Andor world, Star Wars, the universe of Star Wars. What am I talking about here? So with that, I really wanted to just get on the mic, drop a quick episode for you all, just get my initial thoughts out here, take a deep dive into it, have fun, geek out about it. I really wanted to continue the conversation with you all. I didn't want to wait till Sunday for our usual episode release. We're at the point here now, again, ladies and gentlemen, where I've got to get back on a 2 episode a week or maybe multiple episode a week thing that we're doing here. Because like I said, there's just so much to talk about. I know I got a bit more of a break now between when Andor premieres. Because I was thinking, based off of everything else that had been up to this point, was that Andor was coming out end of August, I believe August 30th or something like that. And now, September 21st. that's pretty cool. But it's a 3-episode drop, so we're gonna get a lot of Andor at that time. But I also want to talk about my experience at Galaxy's Edge, Bad Batch Season 2 trailer, the Lego Star Wars Summer Vacation special. Got to do some Andor lead up, Bad Batch lead up. Light and Magic is amazing on Disney Plus. I've finally been able to check out. Sorry, let me open up my Wild Cherry Pepsi over here. Take a quick sip of that. There's just so much going on in the Star Wars universe right now that I want to talk about, and I want to geek out with you all about at home, and to continue the wonderful stuff that we've been doing here at Force Ghost Conversations over the last couple of months. Some other housekeeping news before I watch the trailer again and do some live reactions and talk about it and all that stuff. So you may have noticed we are, as of this episode, when this episode releases tonight, it'll be episode 43 of Force Ghost Conversations, and we're almost at 50. And once we start doing a couple of these episodes that I plan to do, we're going to get to 50 very fast. And I can tell you, there's going to be at least one major update surprise for that episode. It'll be really cool. I've already seen what this update is, and it is awesome. I can't wait to share it with you all. So get ready for that. Tell your friends. Keep growing the seats at the proverbial Force Ghost Conversations campfire, because it's epic, and get ready for it. It's going to be a lot of fun. Anywho, since this isn't our typical Sunday release episode, I'm not going to do Cloud City gossip. So we'll cover all the news over the last couple of weeks in that episode later this week. I really want to just talk about this trailer. And I feel like the only good way to do so is to do what we always do when we talk about trailers on Force Ghost Conversations. I've been doing a lot of them lately. Just seems to be the pile up still from Star Wars Celebration. You're never out of news to talk about when you do a massive convention like that, for sure. I'm going to watch the trailer. I've got it in my headphones. I got it queued up on the Star Wars YouTube page. And I'm going to give you a couple seconds here to pull it up on your own screen, listening device, tablet, computer, TV, anything that's connected to the internet in some way, shape, or form. Pull up the official trailer, is what they're dubbing it, on the Star Wars YouTube page for Andor, so that we can maybe watch this together, have this communal experience of us kind of being in the same room together, and to talk about this epic series. I can already tell you from the first image that I'm seeing on the screen as I wait to press play here, the landscapes of this series are just really surreal, epic, and it gives a grand scale to everything. Now I'm going to give you a count of 5. So if you pulled it up, or if you pause the episode, pull it up, I'm going to give you a count of 5 until I hit play. All right, so let's do it here. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're hitting play. All right. Like I said, this grand scope, it's green. This guy's clearly using an AK-47 or some AK model. Love the Star Destroyer over this village, this town, this outpost, what have you. Ooh, what's this look? Ooh. That's right, you just walk in like you belong. The Senate! The Senate! Oh, so fat and satisfied indeed. I wonder if that's a young Cassian that we're seeing there. Cassian Andor. Wow, that's a new way to say Cassian Andor. Luthen. Oh, wow. I would love to give it all to something real. That sounds like a great plan. I'm going to put a pin on that one. Let's come back to that a bit, but Luthen. Oh, there's two tubes, or one of the two tubes. Saw Gerrera. Woo! Let's call it war indeed. Wow. Fomenting. I don't know what that means, but it's a new word. Wow, there's a lot of new characters and the speaking point moments in this trailer. Are you a fish or are you a thief? That's a unique question. Ah, wow. Luthen seems to be really a part of this rebel alliance. And maybe he works to get Mon Mothma involved. I see that little connection there. Let's hope. Take Holma. Witness the beginning. This is a great trailer. This is a long one. I'm tired of losing too, Cassian. That guy looks like or Gal Ochi of Bestoon, little Maz Kanata there. Yikes, this looks great. 3-episode premiere, September 21st. It's coming up on Disney Plus. I mean, wow, ladies and gentlemen, there's a lot to talk about in that trailer. I mean, that's a full 2.25 minutes worth of nonstop action. There's a lot of suspense, drama. You're really getting into the core of what Tony Gilroy was hyping up, and they've been on the press tour now about this series. They're all in on this grounded, gritty spy world that we're going to be delving into. The early stages of the rebellion, right? We're about 5 years out from the events of Rogue One. Season 1 of this series is going to be that first year of Cassian before the events of Rogue One, and then the subsequent, so season 2, then the subsequent 12 episodes after that will be the next 4 years up until literally the events of Rogue One, as they keep describing it. So they have a clear map of where they're going in this series. Some of the big takeaways so far, again, I've talked about that scale and scope. I know that they've talked about this week, or maybe it was last week, I saw that this is the first live action Star Wars TV series for Disney Plus that has not been filmed using the effects of the soundstage, the ILM created technology that they use for The Mandalorian, Book of Boba Fett, even Obi-Wan Kenobi, affectionately known as the Volume, which I know is getting a lot of usage around Hollywood now. That was, I mean, it's paying off so far. The grand scope of things, the scale, it's all there. That luscious green scenery, we're going to get to see what I can tell as a lot of unique environments in the Star Wars galaxy here. I mean, there's like this like little mine thing that they got here. Looks like it's like some mining world that they're taking resources from whatever the planet this is. Maybe this is Cassian's homeworld. I know there's a little boy there, and the voiceover lends itself to being that maybe it was Cassian. Maybe this is him being 6 years old. I'm in the fight, right? Who knows? Something like that, right? Maybe that's some fair speculation. That's some fair speculation, I would gander. It's really cool. I gotta say, this Imperial Senate stuff, seeing that again, the prequelist and within me is loving this. Seeing Mon Mothma literally on the stage there, where somewhere in this audience is Bail Organa. Previously, we had Padme Amidala. I mean, there's a lot of history in this space here. Yoda and Darth Sidious literally had a fight in this arena, if you will, an arena of politics and fighting at the end of the day. That's pretty cool. We're bringing all that into this, and we're going to see at least a glimpse of the Imperial Senate before it eventually gets dissolved, if you will, in the events of Star Wars A New Hope. I really liked this character, Luthen, who is played by the Skarsgård dad. what's his name? Is that Alexander? No, the Stellan. Stellan. Sorry, Stellan's the Skarsgård. There's so many of them. There's so many of them in Hollywood that you just sometimes forget who they are. It seems like he may be a part of the Senate as well, and maybe like I speculated when my watch of this trailer that he maybe pulls Mon Mothma into this a bit more, gives her a reason for joining the rebellion. Create maybe he's involved with Bail Organa and creating the Rebel Alliance. He's clearly involved in some way, shape, or form with Saw Gerrera. Another big takeaway from this trailer: the fact that Forrest Whitaker is back as the very controversial rebellion figure. If even I will say, even if he considers himself a part of the rebellion, he's definitely a fanatic in terms of what his methods are. They have the same goal: getting rid of the Empire, certainly the rebellion, and eventually what Saw Gerrera's partisans will become when they branch off. Watch Rebels and Rogue One if you want some more of that story. But this is a Saw Gerrera. I mean, if you read the book Rebel Rising, you get a sense of what this era of Gerrera is like. Still very militant. He's a little erratic, fearful, all over the place. You know, this is a man that is basically, he saw the death of his sister in front of him. He may be somewhat responsible for that or holding guilt for that over his head. He's tired of seeing the Empire wave their flag around the galaxy, and he knows this is a war, and he knows what's coming. And eventually, sides are gonna have to be chosen. Like I like that. There's a great moment in Rebels. I don't want to spoil too much here for you, but he's in the series, and he has a great conversation with Mon Mothma in that series, where he says something to the extent of, don't quote me on this exactly, but it is something to the point of, at least I like the Empire treats us both as criminals. At least I act like it, which has always stuck with me. Like, you know, how we conduct ourselves at the end of the day is a big thing, and Guerrera obviously does not care about methods of war and tactics in order to get his end results. So I'm intrigued to see what his role in the series entails. It's very cool to see Cassian being like a spy. Um, Luthen seems to also be involved in getting him into the Rebel Alliance, like we know. I see Luthen as this really like connector figure, right? He seems like he's getting Mon Mothma involved in some way, shape, or form. He's getting Cassian Andor. It looks like they're having some conversations here. Maybe he's trying to get Saw Gerrera into the fray too. That's a great question. I will be very intrigued to see what this plays out to be. And again, I think he has some role in the Imperial Senate, from what I can tell, at least. A lot of great Imperial stuff. I love that line. They're looking so fat and full of themselves, or something like that. That Cassian says, "So fat and satisfied. So fat and satisfied. Look at them. Look at them. You know, they're comfortable at this point in time. This is 15 years after the events of Revenge of the Sith. The Empire has reigned with basically little to no, as far as I understand, little to no threat to their rule, and that's why the bureaucracy of it all is certainly why I think Cassian is able to get into these tough and dangerous areas as a spy, right? He says like they'll never see me coming, which is, I think, is important in order to see how Cassian eventually becomes the character that we see in Rogue One. So very cool. Loved all these like images of Coruscant. It looks like we're going into the underworld here, maybe it's like the underground, maybe 13th level, 1313 or something like that. Who knows? It'll be neat. We're gonna get a lot more Imperials to in the series. There's that officer that's in white. It looks like there's an officer clearly looking out for Cassian Andor in some way, shape, or form. Death Troopers, of course, all the great imagery of Star Wars. It looked like there were some great space battles. I wonder if they gave Andor a higher production budget to keep it in line with the look and feel of Rogue One. Maybe, maybe. I like. I'm intrigued to see Mon Mothma's role in this. It seems like she's definitely a part of the she believes in the idea of the rebellion, at least from what I can tell here. She's making the efforts to maybe do some little bits here and there, make a good speech, try and sway via the political means. I'm intrigued to find the point at which she's like, we cannot go back any longer. It's time to become a rebellion. I am, and she creates she does that wonderful speech in season 3 of Rebels, which is probably one of my favorite episodes of that entire series. I've watched that episode probably the most of any of the episodes in that show, and that's a point where she gets to that and she makes that declarative statement of this is our rebellion. It's clear that the ways of the Senate and politics are not working, so now it's time to unify our forces, create an alliance. No longer are we separate cells here and there. We are in this together. Looks like this series is going to be very action packed. There's again a lot of intriguing scenery positions here. I love this character that looks very similar to a Ochi of Bestoon, maybe a Maz Kanata a little bit there with the glasses. I know there've been obviously connections that people have made. And that is in effect this very long, for a trailer I would say, very epic look at what Andor is. And from what I can tell, it's living up to the hype of it all. It's going to be a gritty, down to earth, I guess grounded is what you would say, series that is very versed and well enamored in the spy genre. So very much akin to a Jason Bourne, maybe even a little James Bond in there to some degree. I think those are probably going to be your main influences, especially knowing Tony Gilroy's involvement in this series. September 21st is coming, 3-episode premiere, and boy, get ready. I know I asked the question today on our Twitter and I guess just our Twitter page, so be sure to follow us there to put in your voice and input there. Are you going to watch all 3 episodes at once to start? Or are you going to space it out over a couple days? Are you going to, do a week to week kind of deal? It's tough in this day and age. I get it. Like, who if you don't watch it first thing in the morning, sometimes, especially if you're on the East Coast, you get spoiled throughout the day. What people on the West Coast really got it made pretty well, where they can just watch at 12:01, and go to bed at 1, still have some good night's rest rather than having to wake up at 3 or like 5 o'clock. I know some people do. They get up early and they watch with their Cheerios and stuff like that, just so they can stay on social media, because it's a minefield out there sometimes, folks. Like, you got to be really careful when it comes to all of this stuff. I don't know. That's an intriguing question. I'll try to watch all 3 in one night. I mean, this is really, it's right there in the midst of grad school, which is just around the corner again. I would have probably preferred them starting a little sooner so that I could, without any potential hits to my grades, watch a few episodes comfortably without, you have that internal fear of what am I missing, or what could I be devoting my time towards. Oh well. Oh well. I saw that they released like the full schedule of when, like, week to week, when to expect an episode, how much to expect, and I believe it leads us right up to the Thanksgiving holiday here in the United States as when the season finale will conclude, which I think lines up with when Willow starts, which I would say is probably smart for Disney and Lucasfilm, that they're not competing with their own projects, which they're already going to do because of the concurring Bad Batch season 2 overlaying with Andor. So there's going to be that. There's obviously going to be some overlay with Willow too, and let alone who knows what all the Marvel series are going to be happening at the same time for. So they're going to be in quite a pickle if they don't want to keep competing with themselves, which is a good problem that we have at home. If you ask me, I would rather be spoiled for all the stuff that we have as opposed to having none of it, which is a time that I very much remember in the Star Wars universe where we had little to talk about except for maybe like a set photo here and there. It was a wild time. Different times, different places, people. It's going to be amazing. Well, that's all my musings really for this trailer. It's really epic. Go watch it for yourselves at home. I mean, you've probably watched it already. Maybe you've listened to a podcast or two breaking it down. I will admit, I don't listen to any other Star Wars podcast when they talk about a topic that I'm planning to discuss that week. So, for example, when we did Kenobi and the Book of Boba Fett, right, I didn't listen to any other podcasts that I'm a fan of that talk about Star Wars until I had recorded my own episode. Just I don't want to copy other people's work or I want to make sure they get credit for their ideas. I may subliminally take something that they had said or something like that, right? It's just I just want to be as fair and appropriate as possible. And I also want to make sure that you guys get my unedited thoughts in a way without being influenced potentially by others or swayed to a viewpoint that maybe is inorganic to what I actually had. I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking too hard on this, maybe I'm not, but that's kind of my vibe and how I go for it, which is kind of why I also wanted to get this episode out soon so I could listen to some of those other podcasts and really enjoy all of that at the end of the day too. So with that, everybody, I thank you all for listening so much to this special episode of Force Ghost Conversations. What are you most excited for in Andor? I mean, this is really, really a unique series for Star Wars at this point. It's going to be touch on genres that maybe we haven't seen too much in the Star Wars galaxy. It's going to be a lot of fun. A lot of fun. We're going to be here each and every week on Force Ghost Conversations, discussing it, talking about the themes, looking at what it means for the greater Star Wars galaxy and canon. It's going to be a great experience. So I hope you subscribe to our show, tell your friends about us, keep engaged with us via our social channels, whether it be Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. We're available on it all, so be sure to come find us on those platforms. And with that, everybody, we will be back later this week with a brand new episode talking about something in the Star Wars galaxy. And I hope that you go check out our other episodes too. We have a long catalog at this point of over 40 episodes of great stuff in the Star Wars galaxy. So be sure to check all that out. And hope that you all enjoy the remainder of your week. Have a great time, and may the Force be with you.